everyone, we're back. I'm back, hopefully a little more tan than I was before I left. I just came back from my vacation. I went on the Disney Cruise Line. The specific Disney cruise ship I went on was the Wish, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. So if you're interested in Disney, you want to learn more about Disney cruises, just let me know in the comments below. So, heading back to work, and I definitely have what you would consider maybe post-severe vacation blues, or rather severe post-vacation blues, one of those. I had a lot of fun, and sometimes it's really hard to get back into work after having such a high moment. I think the same could be said about any other high moment in life, not necessarily vacation. But anyway, without further ado, I did a 4-day, 3-night vacation on the Disney Wish, and it was a Bahamas cruise ship. Now, I didn't take a lot of pictures because a lot of times I'm just focused in the moment. Probably should have taken a lot more pictures so I can add some more things in here to make it more relatable, but I'm filming this on the morning that I go to work, so Tuesday morning, and I'll be probably editing this today to add some more context, make the video a little more interesting. But we did the 4-day, 3-night Bahamas cruise, leaving from Port Canaveral in Orlando, Florida, and we had a ton of fun. This is the first time that I was able to go with my wife's family, and that was a lot of fun. I feel like I get along with them very well, and we all had a lot of fun, and it's just all around a very good time. So to give you a little bit of context, so we left on Thursday morning of last week. So I believe that was May 22nd. May 22nd, I believe, was a Thursday. We left May 22nd early morning to head to Orlando. We did some errands there. Typically, when my wife and I get to Orlando, we always do Disney Springs first. It's just kind of a tradition to just go over there and hang out for a little bit. We did Disney Springs. We did some other errands around the city, and then finally we we stayed at her mom's house, which is in Mascot, Florida, an area that I never knew about until her mom moved there. But very calm, very quaint. It's up and coming for sure. Very close to Claremont, which is also very up and coming. So that was a lot of fun. And then the next morning, we just went directly to the cruise. Now, it was her mom's first time ever going on a cruise ever in her life, and her mom's in her 60s. So for someone that has had to wait that long to go on a cruise, and especially with Disney being their first cruise, we knew that it was going to be something special. So we made our way to the terminal, and as soon as we saw the cruise line, we got very happy, and of course she got very happy, she being my wife's mom. So the terminal process was very smooth. In previous years, there's something you can do in Disney Cruise Lines where you can get this bus transportation. So you can drive to the Orlando International Airport and you can get bus transportation. And I thought personally that the only reason you'd get the bus was to try and get an early group, like an early boarding group. But when I made my way there, I realized there were other benefits. Like, not only do you get the early boarding group, I believe you get like your own private terminal entrance. You get, let's say, a less crowded lobby, so you don't have to compete with so many people when you're just getting all your things gathered and trying to make it into the ship. So maybe we'll do that in subsequent years when we have kids, but it is pretty pricey. I believe it's $180 per person, so you are paying for a lot of things, but it is Disney and that's just how it is. If you don't decide to take the terminal, you could check in as early as midnight on your pre-boarding day. And of course, it's Disney, a lot of people do that, but the earlier you do it, if you can manage to wake up at midnight or be awake until midnight of that day and check in, you'll probably be able to get on board as soon as like 11 in the morning, which is nice because you can already start taking advantage of the amenities. We got in around 12:30, so not really that much of a lag time. And even with that hour-and-a-half difference, it just meant that we had a little bit of a slower morning, which is nice because you can just take your time and not have to worry about so many different things. So that was the morning we got on the ship, and I remember when we got on, the first thing we did was just go to the food court. The weather was amazing. Luckily, we got blessed with beautiful weather, and obviously her mom was already having a very, very amazing time. When it's your first time on a cruise and you've never experienced what it's like to just be able to go to different restaurants and kind of just have whatever you want to eat without having to pay anything, it's really a treat, right? And so we had some Mexican food. My mom, I keep saying my mom when I mean my wife. My wife immediately went to the ice cream station because, again, it's unlimited ice cream. And pretty much for that day, we just spent time at the pool, which is what I think a lot of people usually do as soon as they get on a cruise line. You just get to the pool and start drinking, pretty much, and that's exactly what we did. So after doing that, I think that night most of us were very tired, so we just kind of hung around, walked around the cruise ship, got to learn the ship a little bit. If you've never been on a Disney cruise line, it's just like what you would imagine. heavily themed cruise ship, just like the parks. The Disney Wish has really cool bars like the Bayou, which I believe is from the Princess and the Frog, which I just saw for the first time yesterday, and it's a pretty fun movie. It's pretty good. Didn't realize it came out in 2009. They also have the Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge, which it was my first time going, but I was a little bit disappointed because they didn't have, it seemed like they only had themed drinks there, so you couldn't get like a normal glass of wine or like a normal cocktail. You had to pay extra for like the hyperspace cocktails and things like this. So kind of a bummer there, so we didn't spend too much time there, but we did spend a lot of time in their piano bar, which is a lot of fun. Very cool things to do there. Depending on the night you go, it'll be a different performer, so all around good time. We had a great time with the family, and then yeah, we were all very tired, so we just went to sleep that night, and then the next day we were at the Bahamas. Now, my wife and I had gone for the first time on a Disney cruise line, the same ship, the Wish, last year. My parents invited us, and we did do the excursions in the Bahamas. Now, we did the Jeep excursion, and when you get the Jeep excursion on the website, they show this really nice picture of like a Disney cast member, all cleaned up, very high quality, very professional. And the Jeep that they show also looks like a brand new Jeep. So I was expecting something like this, and when I got to the Jeep last year, it was a very rundown Jeep, and the people that were hosting us were not the cleanest, let's just say, right? So it was very hot, very old Jeeps, not clean people, so it wasn't at all what I was expecting, and I ended up spending a lot of money for like a 4-hour Jeep excursion, and my wife and I got tired. We just wanted to go back to the ship, so much so that we actually walkie-talkied the host and said, hey, can we just head back early? And they said, unfortunately, no, you gotta wait. So this year we decided, let's scrap all the excursions and let's just chill. So the rest of the family did get off in the Bahamas, and they went to Atlantis because I guess there's like a big shopping mall there or something that you can just go and walk around. We didn't want to do any of that, so we just stayed in the adult section. And drank and just napped. We got a tan, just drank, we just chilled, and that's really all about it. That's really what my wife and I just wanted to do, just relax. So once all that was said and done, family comes back from Bahamas. We're all still hanging out in the adult section, and then that night was pirate night. So that was a lot of fun, just seeing the fireworks. Disney Cruise Line is the only cruise line that does fireworks at sea. So that's something that's very interesting to see. I think we had overall a very cool time doing that. Highly recommend it if you go. I can only imagine how much fun it will be with the kids. But we did the pirate night, and that sort of wrapped up that night. The next day, obviously, was the private island day, Disney's Castaway Cay. My wife and I wanted to wake up really early to be there because we really just wanted to, again, relax, be by the sun. I have to attribute this tan I got to just really laying out and soaking out the sun all day. Castaway Cay is phenomenal. It's very clean. The water's crystal clear. The staff is so friendly. I mean, you're really getting that Disney service at the beach. So if you love the beach, you love the sun, you love Disney, I can't recommend anything better than the Castaway Cay, So definitely make it a priority that day to just spend all day there. The boat gets there early and it leaves around 4, so you definitely have a lot of time to just chill. So we did that all day, and then at night we even went to go see one of the shows. It was the first time I had ever seen one of the shows. We saw Aladdin. That was very special. And then really we just went to go have dinner and chill. Now, I'm skipping over all the details here because now that I'm trying out this new format of videos, I only have a limited time to talk, so I don't want to overextend myself. But point is, we had a phenomenal time, and now I'm just back in this mode where it's like, okay, we gotta get back to work. It's not just rainbows and sunshine all the time. So it is what it is, but the work is what allows for us to have this time, to have the money to go spend with our families, to have an amazing time. And honestly, we are already looking forward to next year because on every single Disney ship, you can get a voucher for subsequent years. It lasts up to 2 years and is fully refundable if you decide not to go. So we already have a Disney cruise booked for next year, and that one's going to be on the Disney Destiny, which debuts this year in November. Let me just try and sneak around this Jeep right here. So that's going to be their newest ship, and what I'm really excited about is the one that we're doing next year is 5 days, 4 nights. This one goes to both the private islands, so no Bahamas. I mean, we're going to be in the Bahamas, but only Disney private islands. And I believe it's Lighthouse Point at Lookout Cay, and then Castaway Cay. So 2 private islands, 1 day at sea. It's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe next year I'll take more videos, I'll take more pictures so I can put them here. But in post, I'll try to add as much as I can to give you all more context in the video. So if you're considering doing a cruise, if you've never been on a cruise before, and you have the money, Disney Cruise Lines are expensive relative to some of the other cruise ships, but they are, I think, world-class ships. The service you're getting, the attention to detail you're getting, the cleanliness, the comfort, it's all world-class. It's very worth the money if you can save for it and enjoy it. Highly recommend doing so. Again, we went on the Wish. That's one of the newer ships. I believe now they have like 5+ ships. A lot of people still go on the older ships, like the Magic. That was the first ship, because those ships, I believe, go to some areas that the newer ones don't. So check those out if you're interested. And yeah, we had a very, very good time. I'm already looking forward to now in a couple of weeks going back to Orlando, hanging out with some family. But I finally think it's time that my wife and I shell out some money for one of the annual passes, whether it be the Universal one or the Disney one. We're starting to spend a lot more time in Orlando because we have family there, and her and I just love Orlando. So I think it's probably worth it at this time to get one of these annual passes, because we plan on going in the end of August to go to one of the water parks. They have this really cool event at Disney's Typhoon Lagoon called H2O Glow, where you get to enjoy the water park at night with like no lines. Very cool. I saw that Disney's Disney's, wow, I'm all over the place. Universal's Volcano Bay, their water park, also started offering a similar event. So if you do want to go at night, make sure to catch that. I think it's super cool. And yeah, there's just a lot more opportunities that we're going to have to be able to go to these parks. So I just think it's really worth it to get those annual passes. So I am pulling into work now, and that's just how it goes. So if you guys are watching my video on the way to work, I hope you all have a great day. I certainly will. I'm going to make it a very productive week. It's a short week, so let's just get in there, work hard, and look forward to the next vacation. And with that said, I will see you all next time. Later.